They looked at the scars on his chest and thought it meant he had lost. They didn't realize those marks were proof that he survived everything that tried to kill him. Luffy didn't walk into the storm hoping for peace. He charged in, knowing the world would try to break him. Again and again and again. But he kept going. Not because he had to, but because he chose to. When others collapse under pressure, he sharpens his will. When pain knocks most to their knees, he grins, like it's a challenge. Not because he's unafraid, but because he's unstoppable. He's been broken, mentally, physically, emotionally. He's been torn apart by war, betrayal, and death. Ace's fire burned out in his arms. But did he fall? No. He got up, scarred, bleeding, but burning brighter than before. You see, Luffy doesn't fight to prove he's strong. He fights to prove that nothing in this world, no god, no king, no law, can chain a man with true will. He never needed a plan, just a purpose, and pain only made it clearer. They carved pain into his body, but they forgot that a scar is just the place where a warrior refused to die. Every loss, fuel. Every wound, a reminder. Every scar, a chapter. He carries them not as shame, but as scripture, written on flesh, read by the world. And you're scared of scars? You think pain is weakness? Then you don't understand strength. Real strength is built with damage. Real strength survives the dark and walks out grinning. Luffy walks the same path over and over. Hope, war, pain, fall, rise. And with each cycle, he evolves. Not into a monster, not into a king, into a force. He doesn't move with logic. He moves with conviction. He doesn't fear death. He just fears not living free. And that freedom, it's not given, it's taken. With fists, with teeth, with soul. He's been in the dirt. He's been forgotten. He's been laughed at. And still, he kept going. Because the world doesn't honor comfort. It bows to those who endure the fire and still move forward. He is that fire. You think your pain is an ending? Luffy made his pain a beginning. You think your scars are ugly? Luffy made his scars sacred. They didn't break him, they made him. He didn't get lucky, he got scarred. And still, he kept going. Because in a world built to crush the weak, Luffy taught us one brutal truth. A scar is not your story's end. It's proof you're still writing. He was mocked for dreaming, marked by pain, defined by wounds. But he never asked for mercy. He never begged for ease. He just kept going. Because there's a terrifying kind of strength the world can't measure, the strength of a man who's already been broken, yet refuses to stay down. Luffy wasn't shaped by comfort. He was forged in war, in loss, in silence. Not everyone could hear him, but when he moved, the world listened. He didn't rise with applause. He rose in rage, in madness, in soul-crushing silence that told him he was nothing, and he answered with everything. Because deep inside the ones who keep going isn't just hope, it's defiance, not of fate, but of weakness. They gave him scars thinking he'd break. Instead, he started using them as armor. Each one, a memory. Each one, a weapon. Each one, a vow that he would never fall the same way again. So let them throw fire. Let them draw blood. Let them bring gods and monsters. Luffy doesn't run. He walks straight into it, not fearless, but scarred and fearless anyway, because his will wasn't born from peace. It was carved from pain. Yeah, he was never the strongest. He was just the last one still standing. You see, Luffy doesn't run from scars. He doesn't hide them. He wears them. Each one a reminder of the pain, of the price, of the battles that tried to end him. But none of them did, because every time the world tried to break him, he didn't shatter, he sharpened. Scars, they aren't weaknesses. They are armor made from memory. And Luffy, he doesn't need your approval. He doesn't need your praise. He doesn't even need your understanding. Because he knows this truth, the world doesn't belong to the perfect. It belongs to the relentless, the ones who walk through fire and refuse to burn, the ones who get stabbed by betrayal and refuse to bleed out, the ones who are scarred and still rise, still smile, still move. Luffy is not the strongest because he's unbroken. He's the strongest because he is broken and keeps moving anyway. So if you're scarred, if you've been wounded, if the world has tried to bury you, good. Because now you're like him. And like him, you're not finished. You're just beginning. So don't cover your scars. Show them. Own them. And like Luffy, keep going. Because in a world built to break you, the one who walks scarred but smiling is the one who wins.